Hi, it's been a few days. So I want to explain to you what's been happening. First of all, the last couple of days we took off because it was my birthday on yesterday, July 4th, 1976. Um, and what happened was on Saturday we were supposed to go to a place to sell our books, our booklets. A place called Salem House, which is basically a
Smoke lounge.
smoke lounge, right?
Cannabis smoke lounge.
Cannabis smoke lounge, and it's attached to a dispensary. We got there and we started bringing our stuff up to the door. We got there an hour early. We started knocking on the door, and I figured they're just in there. It's locked because it's not open yet. They're just in there getting ready, and we're going to tell them we're part of it. So I call them, and the lady tells me, "Oh, the event's been canceled." What? Why? Somebody bought the company and shut it down. We don't know if it was permanent or temporary, but they canceled the event.
And they didn't even know if they were going to have a job tomorrow.
Right. So we don't know what happened to that person. I might decide to call them back and see what if they can give us any more information. But there's really no point. We didn't get the product confidence. Ellen drove like a maniac because she was so upset. Driving back from there, I was trying to calm her down and tell her to slow down over the speed humps. Luckily, we drive a Pathfinder, so going over the speed humps kind of fast doesn't really matter that much. Just kind of bounces the tires a little bit. Doesn't hit the bottom of the car like it would on any other car, because believe me, I have wrecked a car that way. And that sucked. That was the summer of 6 cars. That was fun. But basically at this point, we have a little bit of an investor who's helping us get through so that I can finish the podcast and get that up and then put it on Story Rocket and try to get our story out there and see if we can get anyone interested in investing in our story for a movie or a TV show or something. I think it would make a really great TV show, and it could make a really good series of movies, but we have to get people interested first. So we're going to finish that. I'm going to finish that. That's on me. I'm going to finish it by the end of next week. And then I'm going to get Story Rocket to look at it, because I think that, even if the cannabis stuff doesn't work out, the fiction stuff should. Because I've been working on this story my entire life. This is my life's work. It has to mean something. So if you haven't checked us out yet, go on any podcast app and look up Battalion 13.
Or go to our website.
www.b13books.com. And just look for look on the menu and see if you can find you should be able to find the podcast. It's on there. But don't worry, she's having a good time.
Carter's whining crazy. She wants to fight right now, and she's going crazy with my shirt.
Yeah, because her claw's stuck on there. Anyway, we need to clip their claws. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
she's going crazy.
But we were very close to losing hope, and we even thought about shutting things down. And I don't want to do that. I've been working on this story my whole life, and I want this to be something. It has to be something. So, keeping that in mind and understanding we have the cannabis booklets up too, and we did go around to a few places today to try to sell them locally, and we had some positive responses. We gave a few samples out, and people seem to like it. We just don't know if they're going to order it yet. In the meantime, I'm going to work on the podcast, and next week, and this week and next week, I'm also applying to tech jobs, because I guess I'm going to have to do that for a while longer. And that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind doing it as long as I can make enough money to make things easier for us. And I can make good money doing tech work. I don't have all the certifications I need to do really good tech, like to be like a system administrator or anything, but I have enough experience to be a very experienced computer technician and actually, find something. I'm hoping to find something remote, but if not, I'll go into an office. I'm just not going to Hagerstown.
No, the
Make that
lab
clear.
scientists really like you.
Yeah, the lab scientists really love me, but I don't know how many lab people. I don't know what places are still available like that. I mean, I've worked at Lanza, and the boss there was a complete jerk.
Yeah, don't work
Okay?
there.
Don't work in IT at Lanza. It sucks.
Yeah.
As long as Conley Moore is in charge, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I've worked at Thermo Fisher, which was pretty okay. I mean, the wages weren't as much as Lanza, but they're about half. But you know, it was a decent job. I enjoyed doing it. Up until I couldn't anymore because of the pandemic. And because of getting sick and them thinking I was faking COVID. So I'm not sure how exactly you fake COVID, but
especially
I was sick for a month with muscle aches and everything. So
yeah, and especially when your insurance company is like you're on short-term disability and it's all
it's pretty
approved and
ridiculous.
everything. That's pretty weird.
But in any case, I just want to say we're not giving up. We're going to keep working at this. We're going to keep trying to get these stories out there. We've got 2 short story chronicles coming out within the year. One of them is coming out by Christmas. We've got The Immortal, which is the podcast in book form, and I've added a lot of scenes to it. And it's really interesting, and it's going to be very inclusive. It's going to have a good amount of diversity. And it's also going to have the story that I've been working on most of my life about, you know, superheroes, immortals fighting demons and vampires under the control of the renegades. You know, Battalion 13 is really important to me, and I don't want to shut it down. And I'm really glad we had the conversation with our friend Amy, who is helping us. I really appreciate that. I just got to get this done. But the booklets should sell. They are really good items. They are a very good. What's the word I'm looking
Booklet.
for? Booklet. Yes, booklet. It's a very good booklet. It's a very good item.
Has the brand new information in it.
Right.
And we had some good conversations today. You know, we went to smoke shops. We went to the health department.
And if you're in Maryland and you're going to go to anywhere to get certified, Saving Lives Clinic, it's $80 to certify, $45 to recertify, and you don't have to have certified with them first to go there second and save a bunch of money.
And they have telemedicine visits. You can do it, you know, virtually on Zoom or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, they're really nice.
So
there.
if you're in Maryland and you want to do this, the other thing if you're recertifying, the only advice I have for you is when you know your recertification date is coming up and you've already done the appointment, you want to call them that day to make sure they activate you in the system. That's all, because they have a lot to do. They're not only a weed doctor, they're also a clinic. So they have a lot of things to do, so they can't always remember to get you activated right away, especially if it's not that day that you go. So if you go early, just call them on the day and say, hey, I paid for this already. I have my appointment. Can you please activate me so that I can get my medical weed? Yeah. It's really not a big deal, and it takes seconds. I had to walk in there once to get it done real quick, and they did it, and it was done. Yeah. And it was no big deal. I had a big order with cannabis, and I had all these chocolates I wanted to get, and they said, oh, you're expired. I was like, oh, man. All right, so I gotta go and deal with that real quick, and then I went and dealt with that, and came back and got my order, and everything was fine.
Yeah, we also really like cannabis. They always have a lot of great
cannabis
choices.
Is really good. Green Goods is really good, and G Leaf.
Yeah, there's a lot of good dispensaries
around
and Green Goods.
I mentioned Green Goods.
Oh yeah, Green Goods. Yeah.
Green Goods is the closest one to us.
What was the smoke shop we went to today that had the pretty pipes?
Oh man, what is that?
Smoke Signals.
Smoke Signals, yes.
In Frederick. They had the coolest pipes.
Oh my god, they have such amazing stuff there.
Like these beautiful, beautiful glass.
I mean, if I didn't already have a decent bong, and I might eventually get another one, but
yeah,
I have a really
get some
decent
of the
bong,
booklets sold. We'll get a bunch of bongs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get one for every day of the week. This is my Monday piece.
Well, we'd
This
have
is
to
my
have a
Tuesday
cabinet to
piece.
put them in. We'll just clear that cabinet
Yeah,
out.
we'll just get more cabinets.
We'll just get more cabinets.
Get a bigger house.
Get a bigger house.
Get us some orders.
Come on, people. Order some of them booklets.
We were thinking
They are
about...
good training for bud tenders, and they're really good for individual people who need to know more about cannabis before trying it. And that's in any state. Okay? Hell, really, it's in any country. If you want to know, if it's all over the world. If you want to know more about cannabis, buy this booklet.
Yeah, we'll send it to you in India.
Hang on a second. I want to get this real quick and just illustrate. I should have brought this over. Hang on.
This is video on the fly.
So, this is our booklet, okay? And the newest booklet has some stuff in it that the original one did not have, like this beautiful table of contents, okay? And on the last page...
Yeah, we need to make a new video for the website.
Last page is this I Made a Snowman thing from Jinx. Jinx is a very good weed photographer, very good photographer, period.
Oh my God, did you see the picture, the After Pride picture that they put up?
I don't know.
That was so pretty. It was the rainbow.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was so pretty.
There's just such beautiful pictures that they do, and it's just, there's prints on our website, and it'd be really good if some people bought some of these prints so that they know they could make it as a weed photographer, because I've told them over and over again they can make it as a weed photographer, and I don't know if they believe me yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, some of these prints could sell, then maybe they'd get some confidence and be able to continue doing this and eventually make it a full-time career.
We're thinking about doing a GoFundMe.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're talking about is Amy had suggested that we maybe do a GoFundMe to have enough money to get to the shows and get our ideas out there and just kind of advertise everything really well and you know, that kind of thing, just so we can actually make this into a full-time thing. Because at this point, I don't think we're going to be able to do this full-time. At least I'm not going to be able to do it full-time. I'm going to have to go back and get a job for now. But, I mean, I guess that's what I get for not having a plan and leaving my job, but I didn't have a choice. My boss was an absolute maniac. With what he did to my coworker,
yeah,
it was ridiculous. I knew that night I couldn't stay there any longer. And so I made my plan. I contacted who I needed to contact in the company I worked directly for. And I left.
Yeah.
I did finish up a few things before I left. I didn't want to leave them in too much of a lurch. Because I was the only person there who knew how to set up an iPhone with Intune. So, you know, that was something. But
this is the part of our story. If we were writing a story right now about us, it's when all hope is lost.
Well, that was the part of our story. That was the part of our story yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel a little more hope now with Amy.
Yeah.
I feel a little more hope now, and I think that, you know, I'm basically getting paid to finish the podcast, so I might as well do it.
You're being held accountable.
I'm being held accountable. I need to get it done. I haven't done it in so long, and I got to get my narrator voice back. I gotta get back to doing that. It's been 3 years since I really did much of anything with it. I did a few scenes in the last year, but not anything earth-shattering. And I really just want to get back into this and get it done and get it published and then put it on Story Rocket and see if anyone's interested in making it into a movie or TV show. But that's also part of the GoFundMe, is because we're thinking we need to get people paid for the creative work they've done. And you know, part of the GoFundMe could be that we give finished copies of the books to people as the reward when they're done. So that's one possibility.
We could also open up the Patreon again.
That was what
That's what Seth called you this morning.
Yeah, Seth called me this morning. We talked for a little while, and he expressed that we were dumb to ever close down our Patreon. Even though he didn't have much going on there, it would have eventually built up to something. So we're talking about opening our Patreon again. We're talking about doing this GoFundMe, and we're talking about
the Kofi
Kofi.
thing.
Yeah, Kofi was another one. That he said that basically for the price of a coffee a day, people can keep their favorite businesses afloat. And I hope that we can be one of your favorite businesses. I really do. I really want to be something. I really want to be something for you guys. I want to be something. I want to be the story you turn to when you need a good story. I want to be the place you go for your marijuana education. I want to be.
We already have the ISBNs. We already have the copyrights.
And we already have Story Rocket. We've had it for a couple of years now. We just haven't been able to use it yet.
And the Immortal is pretty much already written, except for we need to edit it.
Right.
And we want to be able to
writing
finish
needs to be done. There is some writing to be done, and it's probably going to take at least a year and a half to get the Immortal ready to come out. But that's going to be our big project.
We want to finish this. We want to finish everything, and we just don't want to give up. We've tried so hard, and we have this product, the Cannabis 101 booklet. We'd like to go to the show that's in Baltimore. There's a 2-day show, and we just don't have the funds for it.
So that's one possibility that we're gonna see if we can get a GoFundMe going and get some money to get this done. And we'll go to shows. Not only, I mean, we won't just go to shows in Maryland if we can. We'll go to shows in other states as well. We just need to have the money to do it. So that's what we're doing right now. Is we are asking for money. We are asking people, and Amy made a good point. We're too polite to ask for money, but at this point, we've got to ask for money. We've got to ask people to help us make our dream come true. And get these booklets out into the world. They're really, really important. I mean, there's information in here. I'll read a little bit of something, okay? Medicating methods. There are 4 main methods of medicating with cannabis: inhalation, oral, sublingual, and topical. Each method has unique characteristics that make it more or less appropriate for some consumers. Below is an overview of the various methods of ingestion and their risks and benefits. And I'll read a couple of these. Inhalation. Inhaled cannabinoids enter directly into the patient's bloodstream via the lungs for an almost instantaneous effect. That's why I love it so much. Being able to monitor individual a pro is being able to monitor individual dosage, making overconsumption less likely. Cons: patients with throat or lung impairments might find this method uncomfortable.
Now that actually came into play on your birthday when everybody was having some joints. I actually had to go into another room because
it was too much smoke.
It was too much smoke for me,
right.
And I'm actually having some tummy issues still from the wildfires. So I'm just not myself. I haven't been eating well. I don't know if it's just the anxiety.
Well, maybe you'll start feeling a little bit better with what just happened. But I mean, this is just one of the things that's in here. Let's see. Let's go with oral sublingual. Cannabis can also be ingested orally in the forms of edibles, tinctures, capsules, and oils. The onset of oral ingestion is slower, and the effects are stronger and last longer than with inhalation. This is because during the process of digestion, the cannabinoids undergo a chemical transformation that makes them stronger. People using cannabis medicinally for extended chronic pain often prefer oral ingestion because it lasts longer, but they don't have to consume it as often. So pro, when ingesting orally, none of the product is lost by burning it in a pipe or rolling paper or in a bong. I added that last part, but yeah, same thing. Con, cannabis ingested orally is difficult to properly measure and adjust the dosage due to the increased time onset of the effects. In other words, when you're doing edibles, it takes time and you need to be patient. It can take up to 3 hours for an edible to kick in. So that's just one tip. If you're doing edibles or tincture or anything like that, give it time. Be patient.
And that's just a little bit of the information we have.
Right.
All right, guys. Have a good night and take care of each other.
Hope is in the air.